Is that funny for what I just did?
Where are we, Coach?
And clear the closing doors and take your final seats. Ding dong. Good afternoon, wildlife explorers, and welcome aboard the Wild Asia Monorail. My name is Matthew. I'll be your driver and tour guide. For your own safety and the safety of others, please remain seated at all times, with all body parts inside the train and off the rails, and refrain from eating, drinking, smoking, or vaping. The water is permitted. In the unlikely event of an emergency, there's an intercom button on the left side of your door. Ready to take a ride on the wild side? Here at the Bronx Zoo, headquarters of the Wildlife Conservation Society, we're working hard to save wildlife and wild places around the world. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of Asia, with stops in China, India, Cambodia, Nepal, and Tibet, all without ever leaving the beautiful Bronx. We've just traveled 7,000 miles to the wilds of Asia, and we're looking for 3 deer species and an antelope species. The large whitish deer here to the right of the meadow are the bacterid deer, newest member of our monorail family. They're a relative of the red deer of Central Asia, and were highlighted on season 6 of the zoo. We're also looking at India's national bird, the peafowl. You know, the males are called peacocks, females are called peahens. They get together and make baby pea chicks. They have free roam in the Bronx Zoo and Bronx. You'll see them everywhere today, not just here in Asia. This time of year, you can only tell a male from a female, because the males have blue wings and the females have green. This hunt tells an important conservation story.
In Indonesia live closely with wild animals, like elephants, which we must ensure. WCS field staff work with local leaders and farmers in Indonesia to come up with the Crop Protection Unit. This unit created many different ways for farming to continue in close proximity of wild animals. One strategy was to soak ropes in chili pepper and place them around the farms. Elephants do not like chili and leave the farms alone, allowing the farmer and the animals to share the habitat peacefully.
We all know that an animal that's extinct is no longer with us, like the dinosaur and the dodo bird. The animals in our next exhibit were completely extinct in nature and could only be found in zoos. We're talking about the Mongolian wild horse, or Przewalski's horse. While there are genetic differences between wild horses and domestic horses, there are physical differences as well. They're shorter and stockier in build. They have an erect mane that's lacking the forelock, the piece of mane that falls between the eyes of a domestic horse. They're rocking the mohawk. They were born genetically awesome. The Bronx Zoo received our first herd in 1902, and we're happy to report that Mongolian wild horses are being successfully reintroduced into the wilds of Mongolia and southern China from both North American and Asian zoos. We're now going to hear from Jonathan Slatt, our Asian expert.
Slatt, and I'm the Russia and Northeast Asia coordinator for Wildlife Conservation Society. I believe that wildlife has a place on this earth, and my job is to find practical solutions that allow people and wildlife to thrive together. Przewalski's horse went extinct in the wild in the 1960s. On a recent trip to Kazakhstan, I thought about the ongoing successful efforts in that country to bring these horses back to the Central Asian steppe. The world needs happy stories, to watch the impossible become possible, and to see hope restored. That's what's happening today.
That looks like Weight Watchers.
As you can see, we give our animals lots of room to roam, as we're still in the Mongolian wild horse exhibit. But I'll be able to pinpoint most of the animals for you today, even if they're not necessarily in plain sight. It's not difficult to do if you'd like to try. Just put yourself in their hooves and figure out where you would go for a shady spot to rest or a little grazing time. When we reach the top of this hill, we'll be on the lookout for an endangered species known as the gaur. That's G-A-U-R. And they're going to be on the far side of the meadow, so while we're waiting, here's a word from their keeper, Dave.
Hi, I'm Dave, a wild animal keeper here in Wild Asia. When the Bronx Zoo received 2 female and 1 male gaur from the San Diego Zoo, it took a couple of introductions to all the animals. But after a little bit of time, the premium animals fully integrated into the herd, and we have the family that you see today. A family group of gaur can consist of up to 40 individuals, and is typically led by an older adult female called the matriarch. Since the 2 females and 1 male have been added to this family, there have been a number of offspring. This is important because gaur are considered to be a vulnerable species, so it's vital to maintain a healthy growing herd here at the zoo.
The gaur are the world's largest wild cattle. Males stand 6 feet at the shoulder, 10 feet long, and weigh 2,000 pounds. With their incredible size and horns, a gaur can take on anything, even a tiger. What threatens these beautiful creatures is lack of an Asian habitat and diseases they catch from domestic cattle. If the horns point straight up, it's a male. If they curve in at the top, it's a female. Most of the herd is female. Our matriarch's name is Trixie. It's easy to forget sometimes that the Bronx Zoo sits in the heart of an urban setting. But shortly behind us, you're going to hear the roar from the concrete jungle, known as the Bronx River Parkway. The large wooden fence in front of you obstructing your view is put there to keep back that traffic noise and help our animals feel more at home and calm. This is especially important since in the next exhibit, we're on the lookout for a tiger. Once again, please remain seated with all body parts inside the train. Tiger stripes provide excellent camouflage, and sometimes we have difficulty spotting our tiger. This is Anakin. He's a 450-pound Siberian or Amur tiger. In the wild, tigers will eat wild pig and deer, and pig he will. He'll eat 40 pounds of meat in one setting, and then not eat again for 3 days. That's the equivalent of 160 hamburgers to you and I. If you ate 100, sit down, sit down, sit down. Go to the left. Hey, go to the left. Up the hill. Anakin, up the hill. Are you listening to me? Up the hill. They're going to stand up and I'm going to scream and you're going to be unhappy. Come on, climb the hill. I know it's quick time. Go up the hill. He will. Give him a second. There you go. In the wild, tigers will eat wild pig and deer. And pig he will. He'll eat 40 pounds of meat in one setting, and then not eat again for 3 days. That's the equivalent of 160 hamburgers to you and I. If you ate 160 hamburgers, you wouldn't eat for 3 days either. With less than 3,000 tigers remaining in the wild, and only 1,000 of them being breeding females, we're working with several organizations to increase this number. You can see more tigers by visiting Tiger Mountain, a short shuttle ride from the Monorail. This is the back of our gaur exhibit. Closer look at the gaur. The closer it gets to 5 o'clock, the closer they get to the train. They go down under the tracks and sleep in the shelters behind us for the night. We're now at the back of our first meadow. The little spotted deer are called axis deer. Those babies are 4 weeks old. Axis deer keep their spots their entire adult lives. We've exhibited axis deer since 1899. The large honey-colored deer are called Barasinga. The word Barasinga means 12-tined in the Hindi language, as males will have 12 to 14 points on their antlers. And the little guys with the white bellies are black buck antelope. Smallest antelope species in Asia, fully grown, 2.5 feet at the shoulder. Males have horns, females do not. Another Barasinga down here on the road. They're also called swamp deer, as they have a splayed hoof, and as you can see, they prefer the mud-toothed grass. As we round the bend, we're on the lookout for some pigs. Special pigs called babarusa. The word babarusa means pig deer in the Malay language. As the natives thought their tusks resembled deer antlers. Coming into a bamboo thicket. In the first we have 2 females. They're right here in the center. They hail from the island of Sulawesi. Back by the tree is Kenneth, the male with those impressive tusks up through the snout, back towards its eyes. Asia's version of Pumbaa. If you didn't see the babarusa, have no fear. You can't miss our next lovely lady, as we're going to visit with Patty, our Asian elephant. Once again, please remain seated. Keep your voices down. Your best view of Patty will be after we pass her. Look back to the left, as we're going to make a slight left-hand turn. So look back to the left. Sit down. Sit down. Miss, sit down. Hovering over an elephant is not only rude, but dangerous. The first thing you'll notice about an elephant is her size. She weighs approximately 10,000 pounds. She eats fruits, vegetables, 200 pounds of hay, and 60 gallons of water each day. The elephant's trunk is an incredible tool with over 40,000 muscles in it. That's more than the entire human body. It's got a finger like appendage at the end. With it, she can pick up an egg without breaking it, or tear down a small tree with great force. And if you saw the Animal Planet show, The Zoo, you know that twice a week she receives special baths and pedicures. As we say goodbye to Patty, we're on the lookout for my favorite lady at the zoo, and that's Callie, our Indian rhino.
That's the elephant's name. You know what she did? She wiped the hands on her face. That's why it's all bad.
Come on. To the right of this group of trees, you'll see Callie, our great one-horned Indian rhino. Many people describe a rhino's skin as armor-plated. It's actually very thin with lots of folds and needs protection from insect bites and the sun. To do this, they'll sit in a mud wallow, cover themselves with mud, and this acts as a natural sunscreen and insect repellent. With less than 2,000 rhinos remaining in the wilds of India and Nepal, we're very fortunate to care for 6 of these endangered creatures. Caring for rhinos is one thing, breeding's quite another. We're the luckiest zoo in the USA. We've had 16 rhino births here at the Bronx Zoo. Penny was our first, 1986. Our latest is Patrick, 2021. He was on display just the other day with his mother Priya. She got to come back and visit us more often as we rotate our animals in and out on a daily basis. Second half of the exhibit, you'll see a fallen log. To the right of that fallen log is the original mud wallow, put here in 1977 when the monorail first opened. More than 20 rhinos have contributed to the size and shape of that wallow. Last time I came around, that's where Callie was, right in the wallow. As we we drop down into the valley, we get extremely close to fences and trees. So once again, sit back, keep all body parts, camera parts, anything you ever want to see again, inside the train. Asia's done it with the largest number of deer species, as well as deer diversity, as we'll see in this next and largest exhibit of the Wild Asia Monorail. Of course, the more room you give animals to roam, the harder you have to look for them. When we come around this next bend, top of the hill, you're going to see some very large chocolate-colored deer. Another one behind the fence over there. These are the sandbar deer, largest deer in southern Asia. Males stand 5.5 feet at the shoulder and can weigh up to 650 pounds. They have 3 bars on each antler with 3 points on each bar. The tan animals with the black and white markings on their hooves are the nilgai antelope, largest antelope in Asia. The word nilgai means blue bull in the Hindi language, as males will have a blue-gray coat upon maturity. These are all females with beautiful diamond markings under their eyes. Tan-colored coat, nilgai antelope. Chocolate-colored coat, sambar deer. They're lining up to go into those shelters behind us for the night. Another sandbar deer there on the circular fence. They blend in really well. When we cross this double fence, we're on the lookout for China's tufted deer. These little elusive deer get their name from a tuft of hair on their head where their antlers should be. This one in the far corner, the one about 5 feet from it. The one in the corner is a male. If you look close, you'll see that his canine teeth come past his mandible, making it look like he has fangs, and giving him the nickname vampire deer. That when excited, they will howl, whistle, and bark like a dog. They're extremely rare in zoos outside China. We're lucky to have them. If you rode the monorail in July, we told you to come back in October. They love the cold weather. One on the top of the hill right there. Peek through the trees, you'll see Patty again. Can't hide an elephant. Right there. We're now crossing back over the Bronx River. At over 23 miles long, this freshwater river is home to fish, ducks, turtles, geese, and migrating birds. WCS realizes how important it is to maintain the Bronx River and Greenway, both as a healthy environment for wildlife and for Bronx residents to enjoy. Once we've successfully crossed the river for the second time, we're in the rocky Himalayas, the perfect environment for mountain goats. Here on the border are the markhor, the national animal of Pakistan, the largest member of the goat family, most identifiable by the male's impressive beard and spiral horns that can reach up to 5 feet in length. The word markhor means snake eater in Persian. Legend has it he ate a snake, and that's how it escaped. Under the trees here, the darker goats with the triangular horns are the Himalayan tar.
Those
If we
beautiful.
wanted to study tar in the wild, we'd have to do some serious mountain climbing. So triangular horns, tar, spiral horns, markhor. Gentle reminder to monorail regulars, there is no standing on the monorail. And there's a reason I'm not pointing him out. I repeat, there's a reason I'm not pointing him out.
Somebody speaking standing?
You can see more red pandas by visiting the Himalayan highlands, a short walk from the monorail.
I see him right here.
While there, be sure to check out our snow leopards.
Look, Mike, see him?
Please be
He all the way
seated.
down here.
If he's not in the tree, I'm not supposed to mention it. As we wind our way down the hill, our tour is sadly coming to an end. But I'd like to tell you a little bit more about us. The Wildlife Conservation Society manages 5 parks in the New York City area. The Bronx Zoo, Central Park Zoo, Queens Zoo, Prospect Park Zoo, and the New York Aquarium on Coney Island. We also manage over 300 scientists in 60 countries throughout the world. We're working hard to save wildlife in wild places. You being here today helps us to do just that. And for that, we thank you. We're going to be making a brief stop as there's still a train at the platform ahead of us. Please remain seated. This is not our final destination, and we'll only be here for a short while. Also, please note that while the Bronx Zoo closes at 5:30 today, all live animal exhibits close at 5 o'clock. So plan your day accordingly. The only thing open at 5 o'clock will be Nature Trek and the Bug Carousel, as these do not contain live animals. Official Bronx Zoo time is 4:06.
You see no animals? You ain't seen no animals. No, you didn't. You ain't seen nothing.
The train ahead of us is now leaving the platforms. I need everyone to sit back down and face the river. As we'll be leaving in 5, 4, 3, 2,
1.
On behalf of the Wildlife Conservation Society and the Bronx Zoo, my name is Matthew. I've been your driver and tour guide. I thank you for joining me aboard the Wild Asia Monorail. Our animals are always in different places doing different things, so come back and visit us often and soon. Please remain seated till the train comes to a complete and final stop and the doors have opened. Remember, there's a step up for people in the front row, step down for people in the back row. Please watch your steps as you exit the monorail car. First 6 cars exit to your right, last 2 cars exit to your left. Lucky car B6, you go straight out the gate. Train's about to stop, door's about to open. Only one thing left to do. Enjoy the rest of your day here at Boo at the Zoo. Why don't skeletons play music in church? They got no ordinance.
Thanks to the right.
Watch your step.